Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Alienware Arena Week 1 EU. That's right, we're into a new season here for the Alienware Arena. All the finals come and gone for the fall. Now we're into the winter. I'm the FourCourtJester. With me today is gonna be Bird from D Esports. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing awesome and okay. Watching some IPL before this, and now we're actually gonna get into a new season of this as well. So, I mean, everything's coming up and new. Everything's coming up well. Hopefully, we'll see some good stuff coming up from both these teams today.
There we go, get a little bit of music going there. Yeah, for sure, IPL, a really big tournament going on, but that's okay because these guys are possibly the future of esports. They're not those elites, they're still climbing, they're still making their way up there, and if there's anything I know is that what goes up must come down. So, thank you all for joining us here in the Alienware Arena Winter. And yeah, this will be a best of one. Typical rules do apply, and turn that music back down a little bit, and we're going to be here into the picks and bans. So who do we got here, Bird?
We got Deformed on the blue side and the purple side being Beast, Deformed General Guy, Gay, Ginger, Goat, and Gump. I'm liking the team name. They actually have all the names actually all together.
Deformed G's. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm liking the actual, camaraderie of actually having all those names and actually probably getting those accounts up like they are. Diana and Aurelia being banned out right now for Deformed G, while Beast, Fiora, and Timo being banned out for the team. It's really interesting bans from the first part, especially for Beast.
Well, usually some asymmetrical bans or some really just unused bans definitely makes me believe that maybe they're targeted. So I'm going to take a quick look here through Deformed. 3 games played as Volibear. Great. Oh, I guess looking through all these is not going to be so useful, is it? We do got Fiora second most played here on Deformed Goat. God, do we really have to call them Deformed Goats and Gingers and Gays?
I mean, it is a really interesting name, and I mean, if you want to keep that team camaraderie and the funness,
and Timo, yeah.
Geez, very, very, very nice.
Timo's the top on general, so I'm going to go with those are the bans, yeah.
Timo, Fiora, and Malphite are going to be for Beast. While we do have Deformed Cheese, Diana, Aurelia, Shen onto that blue team and kind of bans out. I'm liking the Diana ban because I think moreover now, at least in solo queue per instances, Diana's been much more of a factor in a lot of games, more than even Katarina per se, just because of that big fall on top of that Linger Rush kind of combo that's coming out with it. You can't really QSS or anything out of that little bit of moonfall kind of movement, so it's really good to see that Diana's getting banned out for that kind of instance. We do have the bans to pick, or the picks coming out. We have a Nunu and Draven possibility at that bot lane versus the Tark and Graves possibility at that bot lane, or Tark and Graves for that Beast bot lane. So I'm liking the damage potential, the burst potential of Beast, and technically even if it is going to be a Nunu support of Deformed G as well.
Nunu support could... Oh, actually speaking of that, there we go. Picks and bans are now covered with their summoners. Oh man, that was close. But yeah, Tarek Graves, nice terror bottom lane, get off a nice solid dazzle into a buckshot, and could even set up really nicely for the jungler, who does look like it is going to be locked in for an Udyr. Couldn't tell you the last time I saw an Udyr. Of course, he could be a lane deer top lane. Could be a Gangplank in the jungle as well. Either way, both of those coming in for those ganks. I feel definitely a bit more viability for an Udyr in there, especially because he can just use all the different stances. That bear stance for the stun, it just combos so well if you can get the timing off right with the Tarek. But we're going to see what they're going to be picking up. Vladimir, however, what do you think? Vlad top? I think I see Vlad top more than anything.
I mean, both can be pretty viable, but yeah, top has been a little bit more useful because 80 bruisers are usually at that top lane, and they kind of build up for that 80 kind of armor, and that's why you see Vladimir actually more at top than over at middle, where it's kind of even out, where you can have that little bit of engage and disengage for that middle lane. But we do see Yi possibly getting picked up and a Bloodscream possibly getting picked up. I'm interested to see what Deformed G's is doing with the team cop, because that is a really, really interesting team cop. We'll be seeing pretty soon.
Something to note, because the bans were just so atypical, a lot of those usual powerhouses actually made it through the bans. I mean, there's no Lee Sin ban, there's no Blitzcrank ban. Like, Rengar is still a really powerful top. Jace still can really do work up there, but we're not even going for those. Like, these guys know what they want to be playing here, you know, the post-season 2, and it does look like they are going to be solidifying into that Yi, so AP Yi could work in the mid. I've been seeing it a few times now, and that would leave us with, I guess, a new jungle. The Blitz could do it. It's just been a while since I've seen him out there.
Blitz jungle it's definitely really hard because he's definitely not Blitzcrank, I guess, if you want to keep on saying that, but yeah, it's not probably the smartest of ideas to get that Blitz jungle, so probably gonna have to be a Nunu jungle. Could be even a Yi jungle per se, because Yi would need a lot of help going down to that. On the other side, yeah, Gangplank could jungle for Beast actually, and I would like to see Gangplank jungle because we haven't really seen that in a while. And with what you have with Orianna with Dissonance and onto Shockwave, with Udyr onto top lane with that Bear Stance, with Dazzle, it could really work out for the Gangplank if it was actually going to be in the jungle, but we'll see if it's going to be jungle Year or jungle Gangplank for Beast. But otherwise, yeah, Deformed G's, you're going to make a name for yourself today. Probably gonna break in meta because, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Nunu jungle, maybe double jungle. There's a lot of things that could happen with them.
Double jungle, man, haven't seen that since Saint Vicious got banned for it way back in the day. But, you know, double jungle probably not the best unless you're going to be like in a really low level game and they don't have a jungle. Speaking of that though, I'm very curious as to the summoner positions right now on some of these characters because we still got to wait a few more seconds to reveal, but I'm wondering if we're actually going to be seeing something very atypical here. Either way, Orianna picked up at the end, but we don't really have any of that kind of dash champions to get into the thick of things. Like, usually when you do see an Orianna, you like to see, you know, maybe a Malphite. A Rengar's actually come up in popularity with his Invis and Bush Jump. You can just get in there with that ball. Hecarim also works out extremely well, where you can go like the Curse style with the Shyvana, but none of that. So it's just pretty much nobody has those dashes, and it will be that Udyr jungling Gangplank top, but my eyes aren't deceiving me here, are they, Bird? We don't have a smite for blue.
Yeah, this is going to be very dangerous for Deformed G's, especially with the 3 exhaust. So the biggest thing that Deformed G's is probably going to have to do, I'm going to wait probably another minute to say it because they could be going into it and kind of get into it. They have a lot of exhaust. And when you have exhaust in a team fight, it's a really good ability. Like, for me, casting Dominion, I know the reason why exhaust is such a good team fight ability. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Otherwise, exhaust on Gangplank is really interesting to see instead of a ignite on Gangplank. Could be he actually was starting off with teleport, but he switched to exhaust. So I'm liking the defensive / the offensiveness of Beast as a team as a whole as well. And technically, you were saying that, you know, they don't have any gap closers. You can kind of do it with Udyr with that Bear Stance and get that little movement speed proc. But yeah, again, it's not the best per se that I get that little interesting little notion in there.
Okay, I think I've figured out the problem here. Deformed Ginger is level 16. So if you take a quick look at the profile, there's no runes whatsoever, and masteries are split at 880. So if he's going support, I can't imagine that. I mean, he has nothing in utility, and why would you put 8 in offense if you're going to be a support? And at the same time, I mean, they got that Draven bottom lane, but that's not an AP Yi. That's an AD Yi. So I'm very interested to see what we're going to be seeing out of Deformed today.
I'm looking at the APG's rune page. Yeah, attack speed and crit chance.
And
so
his masteries are all attack damage. Yeah.
I want to say, yeah. So this is the biggest thing that Deformed G's want to do. They want to fight level 1, even though they have a pretty good level 1 technically with Nunu Snowball and then onto Blitzcrank Grab. But they want to fight level 1. And they want to kill something really fast. Like, literally, they want to kill something, like anything, and get that level 1 advantage and just kind of snowball from that. If they can do that, they could be pretty successful. But this is kind of reminding me of I Am Singapore, which just happened a few weeks or a week ago, where they had a Dota 2 team that was playing on League of Legends event,
Yeah.
and yeah, they didn't take Smite as well.
No.
So it's gonna be really interesting to see how it's gonna happen for D4Gs.
Yeah, I remember that, the Arma GG Eden or Armageddon. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that Warwick took Ignite. Now, I don't think it's quite the same situation here, simply because he is level 16. But, you know, I was looking at the other things. I looked at Udyr. Udyr actually rocking 19% attack speed. That is going to do phenomenal if he does go the Dandin Tiger style.
Yeah, I mean, the Tiger style actually been used more often than Phoenix Sands, at least in competitive play lately. So I'm liking the aggressiveness that Uders are doing now with that Tiger Stance jungle instead of Phoenix Stance jungle. But again, also it's because the jungle is a lot weaker in Season 2, so that's why you can afford yourself to get Tiger Stance instead of Phoenix Stance.
All right, so we are into the skin war. A few people here with some honor badges, you know, in and around the place, those honor ribbons. But guys, we are here, Deformed versus Beast, Week 1 EU of the Alienware Arena. So, you know, fresh slates across the board, and I think we have several hundred teams, last my count, signed up for both the NA and the EU, and you know, this will be a nice best of one. So, spectator mode engaged. Beast here is going to be on your red team. You can see a Beast in front of a few of their names, and at the same time, down on your blue side, going to be Deformed. So once again, we're aiming to see what Deformed is going to be playing, what they're going to be bringing to this table, because they do have that level 16 Nunu, and at this point, it just, I don't want to say it's a bit of a handicap or a crutch. I mean, he could just be really awesome and just on a new account, but I'm very interested to see what they bring to the table here.
I mean, on the other side, their Beast does have like a level 25 or something in there too, so I mean, it's kind of even, but I wouldn't say it's super even. And they do get seen up by the Orna on the ball from that attack. We'll see if the Fern Gomp, the Blitzcrank player, is going to be able to get a grab, and that will probably definitely secure a kill. But we'll see if that will actually amount to anything else other than that, because with Tark in there as well as a great level 1 initiate, there's going to be a lot of problems if they do pull onto the ground person for D4G.
Now, this is really smart here from Beast, using that ball as just that free unkillable ward. It has pretty much just halted the Deformed advance, and anytime you do see that Blitzcrank, you typically just of that mindset, all right, we got a Blitz, we have a really powerful initiation, this level 1, just combo that with a nice stun, which they don't have, but they do got slows, and they do got at 80 Yi. So, I mean, if they do try to burst someone down, they don't really have that hard CC to go with the Blitz pull, but anytime you have a Blitz, always just assume that they're going to be going in, and Orianna has done a great job of scouting them out.
Yeah, now that the Blitz pull is down, it's going to be down for another like 5 to 8 seconds, so we're going to see what they're going to be doing with it. They're going to try to probably pull this blue buff, which is actually a really smart idea, but if they're going to pull it for Deformed Gomp, and Deformed Gomp's going to be able to take this down, no problem.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still going to be a lot of pressure here. I don't think we're going to be giving that up here for Beast, and we actually get the smite off there from Udyr just at the end. And again, you know, without that smite, without that clear defined jungle role, I don't even know how to really reorder the scoreboard here, because everybody's going in these different directions. If I have to assume, though, it does look like it's going to be a lane swap, and that's going to be a solo Yi.
Or could the Blitzcrank bottom lane Blitzcrank went back to buy, probably going to buy up maybe 1 ward or so, and yeah, I think it's going to be 2 top, 2 bottom, 1 middle. It's the same old normal regular story, and we do see Curzo taking a lot of damage over at top, like Ignite going down, Deform General trying to get some damage. Is he going to flash over? Is Curzo going to get the kill? No, it is going to be Nunu to help out that Draven to pick up the final kill onto that.
That was like the world's longest spinning axe. that was a pretty interesting last axe. But hey, yeah, just as easy as that. 2 versus 1. Gangplank probably not really expecting that, at least this early. It's that level of aggression. But, you know, with Draven, he does have that movement speed and attack speed steroid. Combo that with Nunu, and it really does make the most sense in their comp, because he will have that blood boil, even more attack speed, even more movement speed. And, you know, ever since Aftermove's really been showing the rise of these non-typical ADs, we have been seeing more and more of them. So, you know, kudos, first blood right there.
Yeah, Draven, I mean, again, he has really great early game. Probably compared with Tristana, probably one of the best in the game as an AD carry, just because of spinning axe just does so much more damage. So, unfortunately, it was actually just Gameplay a little bit too far into his lane, and with that snowball, it really just hurt Gameplay because he didn't have oranges to be K. So it really was just Gameplay just out of position a little bit and not expecting, like you said, the 2v1.
Oh, what a great grab there onto I Love Poison, but between the quick draw and the alpha strike, Deformed Goat could have been in a sticky situation, but we didn't quite get the dazzle off. If he'd been under that tower with the dazzle, would have been really bad position there for that Yi, but Yi bought him with this Deformed Gomp. Wow, just all the deformed Gs are so great to listen to. This bottom lane, again, it's going to be pretty atypical. Typically, you do have that ranged AD in the bot, and that is not an AP Yi. It is totally going to be an attack damage Yi. So between them, I'm very interested to see how Graves and Tarek just deal with this, because I really don't expect them to have too much of a problem with this lane.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's true, but you can never count out Blitzcrank, and especially technically, I mean, Alpha Strike is actually AP ability, so that's something that he's gonna have to work upon maybe. But with Deformed Gom, with that Blitzcrank pull onto knockup, it's just a lot of bursts. Plus, on top of that, if Deformed Goat can actually do some damage on top of either Graves or Tark, it'll work out really, really well for them. But again, yeah, technically, when you have a regular AD carry at that bottom lane, you should be able to win out that lane.
So up top, Deformed General has been pretty much soloing against this Gangplank, and Gangplank really doesn't have too much of an answer in terms of the ranged aggression, except for that parlay, which will take mana. So auto attacks versus mana, General's actually been doing pretty good up here. He's has that extra kill. He's a little bit behind in the CS, but now that we do have Nunu up here, he should be a lot safer. Could have a gank going mid, but it will be Gomp actually just dropping really low. Out comes that passive, that extra shield. The quick draw going to be coming in here, but I'm not too sure it's going to be enough to take him down. And during all this, kept half an eye on Dragoo, but he hasn't moved yet.
Yeah, Dragoo probably could go for this gank right now, but again, you do have single pull with Vladimir, and Vladimir actually is strictly going back to nearest tower, so Dragoo doesn't have to go back away, and I'm wondering why Dragoo kind of just stayed there and probably could have gone for that gank a little earlier.
Yeah, it's now been a lot of wasted time just sitting around, but here's the good news for Dragoo. He has 2 jungles to play around with.
Yeah, and he's going to go for that blue buffer right now on the opponent side, so I mean, what can you do? There's nothing really else to get more experience and technically counter jungle your own jungle, which is actually their jungle.
Can't what? That was the word jungle too many times, but yeah, I mean, he does have that kind of freedom to run around. There's not really too much in terms of what Deform can do against that kind of aggression, because the objective control is now pretty much going to be solidly within Beast's favor. And at the same time, this also now makes me think that he can take a blue and he can still give a blue to Orianna mid. So how is Vladimir going to be able to cope with an Orianna mid with a blue buff?
Well, the thing is with the traditional 2v1 top versus the jungle oppression or jungle aggression, we're probably going to be seeing a pause pretty soon. But yeah, the thing is, if you push down this 2v1 top lane super fast, like how the Koreans are doing it, or how people are doing it now, where you push down towers really fast and just secure objectives, it'll really skyrocket your game where you can control the map a lot better. But if you can't push down like Deformed General and Deformed Ginger are doing right now, they're kind of just holding off the lane just because General is kind of behind in farming. It's gonna have the jungle beast just go around, get XP, and become this really big force to control that bottom lane and control that middle lane as well. So unfortunately, like, Deform has to actually push really hard. Even though they're ahead in a kill, they're really down in gold, and they're gonna just skyrocket down even further soon enough.
Alright, so we are going to be resuming play here, guys. A little bit of a internet glitch on their end, but don't worry, everything's still good. Now, during all that, I was just taking a quick look at CS numbers, and bottom lane has actually been doing alright. Graves up 47, looking to get this kill on top of Gump. He does not have that passive. Out goes that exhaust, counter exhaust coming out on top of Poison, and just in time, up goes that shield yet again. So no kill once more, but because again, like, we don't really have that range AD pressure in the bot lane, we are just skyrocketing ahead in terms of creeps. 50 creeps there to Graves in that bottom lane. Mid lane, Orianna also just really far ahead at this point, over 20 creeps ahead of her opponent. And the only real even lane is this top lane of Draven versus Gangplank, but the only real difference there is, of course, the 1 kill.
Yeah, in general, is gonna get aggressed upon by Dragu, but Dragu can't really do too much. The ice ball is gonna slow down that momentum. I mean, technically, I would kind of get the Draven versus Graves kind of ADC matchup, and at one point it was double the CS for that Graves. And right now Graves is having such a demanding lead over this bottom lane. It's just super overwhelming that Graves is gonna hit a point at about like a level 8 to level 9 where he's gonna have a BT and he's gonna have so much damage onto his teammate.
Yeah, and usually one of the gimmicks for a Yi is if he's going to be going AD, he'd usually be in the jungle. That way he can keep up with the creeps. But an AD Yi in the bottom lane, like you can't even really use your Alpha Strike to do any of those big last hits. You really got to really rely on the random generator. And at the same time, if you get just out of position, you don't have the damage really to back it up. Gomp once again forced out with that passive, and as I said, I just don't really see the challenge in it in this bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly for Beast to just hold the lanes as much as they can and just get that farm, get that CS, get that gold for 10s of Gangplank, so that way he's actually just going to farm it up. But just get enough gold to hit a big mid timing where they're just going to be super strong. And I mean, it's just going to exponentially just grow and grow and grow for Beast.
Speaking of that, BF Sword already picked up. Once again, another DC there in the mid. Orianna, one more pause. Going to be coming out as well. This could actually decently drag out if his internet does not behave. But either way, as you say, we are going to be building up to this timing here for Graves. Feel like we're talking about StarCraft all of a sudden. But he's going to have those +3 weapon upgrades with that BT fairly soon. Already with that BF sword, just immediately just went back and got a BF sword. Like the lane is already pushing. He's not really going to miss too much in terms of farm. Maybe just this one wave at most. I kind of expected Tarek to freeze the lane a bit better than that. But yeah, Graves is going to come down here. He's going to miss 2 or 3 creeps and just go right back to it.
We do have some aggression over at top lane. Kozo is going to go in, use that ultimate to get onto Graves. Draven's going to get taken down. Going to use the whirling axe and actually pick up a kill onto Dragu, but we do see Kozo be able to pick up a kill with that parlay on top of that ultimate. And yet again, we do see Orianna going to be picking off right over there. Actually, Gangplank was going to get picked off right there, but Orianna DCing as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, did we miss another kill? But nope, it's just Orianna being less than warranty specific. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the robot kind of parts are just kind of falling apart right now, so they're kind of put it together piece by piece. Ball, needs a little bit of detail. It'll be okay.
Yeah, but either way, we saw that entire fight up top, and that was a really great absolute zero coming out from Deformed Ginger, and because of that extra with just the lawnmower and the axes coming out from Deformed General, was able to at least trade 1 for 1, and then at the end, just so much damage coming out of the combination of the absolute plus the AoE from the Deformed G's that Nunu was able to take home a kill as well. That puts him up 2-0-1. And a 1-1-2 top lane. The only kills on the board for Deformed, and they're both in that top lane. I can, if this was a bit more of a typical matchup, I'd be a lot more scared. But at this point, I mean, we're still ahead in CS here for our Gangplank. And if Gangplank, well, no, top lane. If our Gangplank has actually been, parlaying, he's really not that far behind in terms of gold. There's less than 400 gold difference between them.
Yeah, I mean, Gangplank is decently doing well right now. He's sustaining it as much as he can, and getting that extra kill is actually going to skyrocket him a little bit. Just unfortunate that Nunu now has 2 kills, so technically I'm going to say that Nunu is kind of like the jungler of the whole situation because he does have consume at least, so he can kind of smite stuff. He's going to at least get a level up, so he's kind of on par with Dragu, or actually he's ahead of Dragu, but the biggest thing is that he has more money to spend around with, so he can actually. He's probably going to be building up into regular items. He's not going to be building up to support items per se, like he's supposed to be a support or whatever. So yeah, Nunu's going to get a little bit more feisty with that AP damage. Again, Ice Ball, the E ability 1.0 ratio, and the ultimate for Absolute Zero is a 2.5 ratio. So that's really good stats for Deformed Ginger.
Well, let's take a quick look. Absolute Zero, enemies caught within the area when the channel ends is 625 plus 48 magic damage, and Yeah, I mean, we have 19 on him right now, so that was a really big burst of damage in that top lane. As you said, he could go off, does have that consume. If you do recall, we looked at his runes, he doesn't have any, but we also looked at the masteries, and he was 880, so he does have a little bit of magic penetration to his name, as well as some static AP, and he does have a Dorn's Ring. I mean, pretty much a Dorn's Ring beginning with a little bit of AP, a little bit of defensive. He could very well, at this point, at level 7, just start clearing his own jungle. But, again, like, Draven would then be very alone, and Draven would be very vulnerable. It doesn't really have those escapes, has that one steroid, and that's a really long lane to try to outrun an opponent, especially when it's Udyr.
Yeah, definitely, and Udyr is going to be able to catch up to him pretty easily. So Draven's probably not going to be alone per se. I think Ginger and Draven need to really push down onto this turret and take it down as fast as they can, so that General can actually just 1v2 the lane, or they can switch up E to the top lane, and then we have a traditional bottom lane technically. But yeah, we'll see what will happen, but it's all on the play really of Deformed Ginger, where he's going to go with this, and it's a lot to ask for a level 16 player to say, oh, you're going to have to do this, this, and this, and hopefully we'll work it out that way.
Well, I'm assuming that since they all have the same names, that they're at least friends in some capacity, and friends help out friends. It's not like you're just getting thrown into solo queue and saying you go do this, this, and this, and expect terrific results. No, because if you're not going to help them and they don't know how to do it, then don't expect those amazing results. But here, I'm assuming voice chat. Everyone may even be in the same room. Maybe they're university college roommates. Who knows? But yeah, 7 creeps to his name, but 2 kills. It really could go any way here for Ginger. I've been looking at some of the gold now as well, and believe it or not, that Draven, even though he's only at 31 creeps, with that 1 kill, 2 assists, he's actually out golding Graves.
I'm guessing it's just the assist and the kill that's really helping them, because I quit, again, the kill to be about 10 creeps, so I mean, he's getting there. But I'm pretty sure Graves should be able to get more damage output pretty soon, / get more gold output if anything. And especially with a jungler with like what Dragu has with Smite, it might be a better chance to take over Dragon over that bottom lane a little bit faster, because there's 2 people on top, and there are always going to be 2 people on top for now for G.
I'm a little curious what the Alienware rules say about disconnects that take longer than a certain amount of time, because we've never actually run into the situation. Could just be a quick forfeit. I'm not entirely too sure. But yeah, our pause timer is definitely ticking down at this rate.
Yeah, it's happening. When I actually played in the Alienware arena last fall, I don't remember actually having a penalty issue for that pause kind of timer. So if anything, I think we could be seeing a 20-minute kind of time period we wait, but I don't think that's going to be happening. Unfortunately, yeah, again, the arena is having some internet disconnecting issues, so that's always going to be a little bit of a problem. And again, the vehicle esports, it's always fun when you do have those problems with a computer, and I mean, that's what we're going to have to live with, and that's what we're going to have to go by with, per se.
Oh, yes. League of Legends is definitely no stranger to technical mishaps, even on those big important stages like World Finals, for example. Yeah, there's always something that could go wrong, and Murphy's Law says, hey, yeah, if you're up to bat, yeah, it's going to go wrong. That's exactly right. Like, earlier we were just watching the IPL. I was watching IPL, and they actually have the guy that does the voice of Shaco there. Adam Harrington, I want to say his name is, but don't quote me on it. And they're like, all right, we're going to introduce the teams. And then Shaco literally just introduces the teams. This creepy, creepy voice. And absolute silence. It's like, wow. An introduction like that gets absolute silence. Apparently there's only like 10 people in the audience at the point. But still, it's just like, why are they not screaming and cheering for that? Because it was so awesome.
I would say because it's 9 a.m. over there when they started the games. I'm like,
on a Thursday, no less.
Yeah, who would start a tournament on 9 a.m.? But again, there is so many teams for IPL, so that would make sense to actually start it that day. It's just, yeah, I'm saddened at that point, and I didn't know that Adam Harrington was there. That's really cool. I didn't get to see the opening ceremony,
so I did get the name right, Adam Harrington.
I think that's just a YouTuber that does like voiceovers and stuff. I don't think that's the actual person for Shaco though. But he does Shaco impressions and stuff like that.
Good times either way. It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy Gigi Strato, the guy who does the voice of Purple Sweetness, because that's also been running there on the IPO ads. Yeah, he does a really good Shaco impression as well.
Voice actors, man, they do so much good work, and we're actually going to be going back into the game right over now. Finally, we do get some working parts for that Oriana, I think, and yeah, we'll be going into the game really soon.
Now that we actually have the game open and it's not so monochromatic, I can actually look at the colors. One thing I do want to bring up is that wards in this game are fairly low, and I would say atypically low, because we don't have that jungler presence here from Deformed. I guess that we've not really felt the need. I mean, there's no pressure really that Deformed can put up in terms of like surprise ganks or surprise pressure, because they don't have that jungler. So the ward situation has been fairly, static and low. I mean, we do got that one ward top and the one ward bottom. Don't tell me that he's going to disconnect again. Oh my goodness. But, I mean, those are really the only wards on the map.
It's been because, Gangplank has had a really hard time over at top lane, so you've been seeing Udyr, Dragu, actually stay pretty much over at top lane jungle slash the blue sides, blue as well and such like that, just because, yeah, he's trying to just alleviate some pressure over at the top lane, which also means that he's only been able to go over that middle, like try to go for a few ganks onto Vladimir and get Vladimir with Segment Pull. Can't really do anything with that as well, so Udyr's kind of been stuck. And if he had time to actually go to his bottom lane and go for some ganks, they would have been able to secure like a few kills, but unfortunately, Udyr's been that top lane and he's just been staying there, so that's the only reason why D4G is not having too much ward over that bottom lane.
And now that we actually have level 6 here on Yi, good luck trying to just CC him to death, because he's just going to pop that Highlander and stroll on out of it. We also got the overpower, I want to say, for Deformed Gomp on Blitzcrank. Is it overpower? It's overdrive.
It's overdrive, yeah.
See, not even you knew it. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, between that and mid, the only real place to gank is going to be that top, where they don't have those big steroids. They only got really the Blood Boil to kind of go off of.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate, but we should be seeing Oriana probably going to be pushing up really soon. 82 CS compared to the 56. Vladimir hasn't even gone back to buy yet. And yeah, we are seeing Oriana probably going to go straight up to the top lane and go for a gank.
Well, we can hope. There is that one ward in the river, and I think I did see the ping going out, so he is going to go around it, join Dragu, who does have red buff. That will help out in terms of everything. And oh my god, wow, we are looking at that bottom lane. Yi going down against the Highlander. Was popped, but it wasn't able to save him, so I'm going to say too much burst out of that one. Ginger going to be flashing on over, just trying to stay alive. Did I not see a shockwave go off?
I guess the shockwave did not go off because it's still on the still active, so they did not get a good gank off of that, sadly. And unfortunately, it was only Graves' burst damage, super strong from Poison, and used up pretty much all the CDs to get that kill. So great job by Poison getting that one onto the Yi.
Good game, Yi. You are down. But still, I mean, it's a fairly low kill game so far. 3-2. That's actually the first kill for this bottom lane. But now with this extra pressure, once again, I mean, we have such a huge creeps lead for that Graves. And now with a kill under his belt, he's going to be going home with 1,400. So 1,400 plus the 1,650 he's already spent. That should be the Bloodthirster right there.
Yeah, he probably will get that Bloodthirster first and then buy boots too when he needs to. We're here at top lane, we are going to be seeing a little bit of aggression from General, but nothing too much to worry about for Karzu. But yeah, Graves going to hit the timing, like I said, it's going to be super strong really soon.
There it is, Bloodthirster, first item, not even tier 2 boots. We do not need no tier 2 boots. 120 gold left to his name, so pretty much bang on. Now, one thing I noticed is that we did a little bit of a blue invade after that failed that failed top gank, and we do have Caruso here with the blues, so that's going to be parlaying all day. This could turn very well into a bank plank with that parlay, because you do get the extra gold every time you get the last hit with the parlay. Now with that extra cooldown and the mana regen, there should be absolutely no reason that he's not using it in terms of just upping his gold, because he will have that advantage. Even under tower, auto attack parlay with a tower shot should be enough to let him farm comfortably.
Yeah, but he's been using the WV to remove scurvy a lot more, so he's trying to just kind of mana out onto that. And with the Ice Ball and on top of that Draven Daxes, they've been pretty much poking down Karzu really hard. So Karzu is having a really hard time in judging what he has to do with that parlay, because even though parlay is on a really reduced cooldown with that blue buff, it's still a little bit of seconds that you need that extra like damage to actually do something.
Well, Udyr just going to be obviously showing himself up top. This could be a kill, however, onto Tarek, but a self-heal going to be coming out from him. Should be enough to keep him alive. No Alpha Strike, or we already used it? No Alpha Strike coming out from Goat. So very curious about some of these non-uses of skills. Either way, a little bit of an altercation bottom. Gomp, however, has really been taking quite the beating this entire bottom lane matchup. I mean, they've always been in on him, and he doesn't even have boots. I'm just looking at his items. He has Philo Stone and the mana crystal. So his shield, his passive shield, really good, but no boots.
I mean, he hasn't been using his grabs or anything too much as well, so he's been having the mana barrier, which is kind of nerfed now because of the life stats. Nerfed a lot more and such, but he still has like enough health to survive a lot of the burst that's coming out from Graves. So unfortunately, the only person that's really been in trouble is at the bottom lane is that E. So we'll see how that will affect the game, but we'll see what the Blitzcrank can do into the middle, because I'm expecting with that mana crystal, maybe gonna go Tear the Goddess and go Manamune, but yeah, we'll see.
And we still have Dragoo up here, just pretty much camping out General. Still cannot land that bear form stun. Really good positioning coming up from General, and just the use of his skills, able to just get out of that. The Blood Rush, 45% movement speed is just enough to get out of his clutches. Now we did have Nunu just kind of hanging around mid, just holding down the line, as Epic, who seems to have a nice solid internet connection once again, has come back. And once again, I do have to point out that the creeps are really just so much more in favor here of Beast. I mean, the kill lead, maybe not so, but the money is there. 2,000 difference at 16 minutes.
I mean, it's not as big as lead as you would be expecting, but it's still a really surmountable lead that's going to just keep on going, and especially with Orianna getting that first turret down, can provide a lot more pressure on the map. Is he going to be warding out? No, he doesn't have any wards, but he is going straight down the bottom.
Yeah. And at the same time, we still got Dragoo camping out that top. So once again, going around, avoiding the ward. Epic really in a nice position here, but we kind of need the rest of the team to be on board. Unfortunately for them, the creep waves just kind of unfortunate timing in this regard, because they're hesitant to go out and reveal their hand. You can see just Tarek once again, he really wants to get in there with that dazzle, and it's just a waiting game. At the same time, Dragoo, he's going to run off. Decided that the waiting game's not for him. We're going to have Epic actually go around all the way to the back in case he does get scouted out. The waiting game sucks, Bird.
Yeah, the waiting game is pretty hard, and Vladimir actually at this time is going to be pushing really hard onto this, so I'm guessing the form does know about it, but they can't really do anything about it. And we do see Orianna Ball going down onto Gomp, but Gomp going to flash away pretty early from this.
Yeah, but no shockwave yet again. There goes the silence. We are under tower with a really big creep wave here as well. Throw out the ball. Where's the shockwave? We're still not seeing it. There it is. Finally going to be taking down Gomp right at the last minute there, but the Highlander and Flash Goat is going to be able to get out of this one. And finally, the waiting game has paid off. Epic maybe a little bit low, but tower secured, kill secured. Patience is a virtue.
It is, definitely, and technically Epic, like you said in the beginning, doesn't really have that too many, or doesn't have too many targets to actually shockwave per se when she can't connect the ball to one of his teammates. So unfortunately, we're going to be seeing a tech command go out, but the shockwave probably going to be waiting out a little bit. And plus, he's been having disconnective issues, so that could be another problem with shockwave not going online every time.
Well, we've had absolutely zero response from really the mid or the top in terms of this pressure that has been surmounting bottom. For example, we still got Deformed Gay in the middle with that Vladimir, and Free Dragon goes down. I mean, the ward situation once again is pretty low from both teams, but we still have that map advantage coming out here from Beast. Not only are they ahead now in gold, they got 2 towers down in 2 separate lanes, which means that it just really does free them up to do more fluid transitions here. And again, double jungle has been really paying off very nicely, because Dragoo's been able to get in and out. They're really controlling the blue buffs very nicely. Epic about to pick up another one, and then I highly suspect Dragoo's just going to go over with the top lane and just give it to Gangplank yet again.
Yeah, Gangplank can probably just pick it up yet again for that top lane blue. And Draven actually gonna go try to take down the red buff. Yeah, he does take down the red buff without actually clearing his red buff, but it's okay. We'll be seeing what they're gonna be doing at bottom lane. And I think this is gonna be a push to finally finish up the tower.
I think this also might end up being a little bit of a lane swap later on, because Nunu's holding down top all by himself. There goes the Alpha Strike onto Dragoo, but is not going to be enough really to kind of even dent him. If they focus down this tower, they shouldn't have really any issue taking down Dragoo. And as I said, Dragoo getting really low, really nice lawnmower coming out there, the twin axes from Draven, able to put another kill on the board, and they will get their first global gold of the game in one nice fell swoop. So we're not quite out of it yet for Deformed, but there's still a little bit more on the back foot.
Truthfully, that is what Deformed General probably needed to do a little bit earlier, maybe 3 to 4 minutes ago over the top lane. But now with 103 CS compared to 152 with his 2 kills, he's kind of catching up. On top of that, getting that extra tower kill, but it's gonna be looking pretty grim still for that Draven, who, sorry, does have that boost of Berserker Greaves and on top of that BT, but it's gonna be a little bit behind each and every little time because of that Zeus, because of that Phantom Dancer being built up by Graves, and then because Graves is pretty much just having free farm at that bottom lane.
Yeah, and that free farm is paying off. He's the top CSer of the game. 101 now to his name as well. Let's take a quick look at his gold, 6,200. So he has kind of really surpassed that Draven now in terms of pretty much just everything. You can see Karazu really going hard on top of Ginger here, forces out that flash, but the Gangplank ult now down for another, at least a minute. So this could actually be a nice opportunity to gank the top. And you do see Draven kind of just sitting there in the wings, but it is warded out. We haven't really seen any kind of counter-warding measures go down. We had one pink ward come out from Blitzcrank a little bit early on, and that's about it. Also, something I'm a little concerned about is I don't really see anyone kind of building tanky yet on Deformed. I mean, we got a Catalyst here on Ginger, which I assume is going to become a Rod of Ages, but that's about it. I mean, Blitzcrank isn't tanking up whatsoever. Udyr kind of tanking up. He does have that armor from Wriggles and the Merc Treads, but it also like Gangplank. I didn't really expect to see a tank Gangplank here.
The 4G really, the team combo is leading stuff that you needed to be aggressive from like level 1 on, so I guess this is why they wanted to get all the damage items that they could, and they're almost there. They're almost there. We do see the red buff trying to be taken away, and Deformed are going to be caught in between a hard place and a rock. The target is going to be going away from that, and Deformed actually missing off on the Blitzcrank grab as well.
And Goat actually threw down the Highlander just to ensure that he didn't get stunned out. Wow, okay. So not only the grab missed, but the Highlander has now actually blown as well. And that's really going to hurt Goat for the next little bit. Although it's really not that long of a cooldown, about 72 seconds. It's ticking down fairly nicely. But still, I mean, he's got to be very careful if he wants to Alpha Strike into this next group.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to just straight up Alpha Strike. I think, moreover, he just needs to farm up as much as he can. Again, ADE is a little bit different than APE. APE has so much more burst potential. ADE has just sustained damage, but you can't really do too much in early to mid to almost like early late game. You have to get to that late game status with that IE and with that damage output that you can get.
Alright, so tower under siege. We are going to be just throwing out the Hemoplague apparently from Vladimir. It will force us back for now, but at the same time we also got the split push going on. Deformed Ginger up top should be able to take down this tower pretty much single-handedly. We do have the Gangplank ult going off. Not the best use of it, at least in my eyes, but 4-on-4 in that bot top, once again just equalizing out the towers, and we have a pretty decent gank squad coming in.
Oh no, I love Poison trying to be that front line, does not get grabbed. If he got grabbed, Shockwave would have gone out, which you're probably going to see the Shockwave not go off still. You see Whirling Axe coming in and Shockwave finally going out, picking up the kill onto I Love Poison, or onto Draven, so no problem there for Deformed General to go down. Interesting kind of decision by Epic yet again. I guess it's really the internet connection that is really bothering him.
That was coming in from behind like that is a nice solid gank group. They were able to really catch General out of position, and they punished him for it really nicely. So, kudos to them, another kill on the board. And at the same time, they're still putting up this bottom lane pressure. And at the same time, Kurzu top. He's trying to repay that favor. He's really going to town on that turret. And I still got to be very curious as to why is Ginger the only person up here? Like, I kind of feel it would be much more beneficial if like Yi was up here farming, for example.
Yeah, if Yi or Draven had some free farm at this time, it would be great. We do see Yi actually trying to come out and pick up on the Karzu, but Karzu does the Warmog armor, has a little bit of take if the Thorn Shield on top of that chain's armor, so that's gonna be really good. But here comes the chase.
Yeah, the Highlander went off, but he did not Alpha Strike Karazu, so there's a little bit of distance that he had to clean up right there. Now, we don't have any kind of resets quite yet. Karazu, with that Warmogs, with that extra armor, is fairly tanky, so it's taking a while. Wow! Did you see that shockwave?
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Karzu actually flashed away from it, and the shockwave just a little bit too late did not connect onto Yi or Nunu, so unfortunately, you know, this is the first time Epic was actually using it, and it actually did not benefit him at all.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication there from the teammates. Like, throwing up the shield on Gangplank, awesome. But shockwaving without asking him just to stay there, yeah, a little bit of a misplay there. I mean, all you had to do is stay at 1 extra second and then flash away. I mean, that would have been it. But either way, cooldown is now spent. I've also noticed that Yi has already planned ahead for the armor problem because he does have that black cleaver first. That's also a little disconcerting because we don't have any lifesteal on Yi.
Yeah, you need to get that not really Bloodthirster, but something. Maybe Rails Lantern or something to go out on that.
Executioner.
Usually,
yeah.
or Execution calling as well. Usually when we see ADE, we usually see Dunkmaster E with the triple Zeals on top of the Wriggles Lantern and such like that. I mean, ADE is very, very seldomly used. I mean, technically the ultimate build with that critical, it would be the Infinity Edge on top of that Phantom Dancer and then getting some lifesteal of somewhat. But yeah, that is just really interesting to see what E is going to go for. And technically Black Cleaver is not a bad item, but yeah, I don't know. I would say that Black Cleaver is always a mid-game kind of tier item and stays only in mid-game.
Well, we do have a Vamp Scepter now on Goat, and at the same time we've had this bottom lane Dragon just started up, but I don't know why the entire team left General by himself, and we're going to be able to pick it up pretty much uncontested. So not really too sure what was going on there in terms of the communication, but General just getting caught out. It looks like Gomp might be going down as well. Finally, he does drop. Free giveaways at bot, pretty much. Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself there, General.
Yeah, the General is now going to be backing away from this, / he's going to be dead right now. And we're going to be seeing the mid lane second tier push up right now. I'm pretty sure they can probably, yeah, they can probably actually take this down unless they use Team of Plague to defensively use again. And also Ginger using his ultimate. Wow, that's 2 ultimates down for the team of D4G, and actually Beast Tail can push really hard onto this.
Out goes that Alpha Strike, but once again, no AP really to back it up, so does minuscule amounts of damage, not nearly enough to save the tower, and yeah, Beast is able to just walk on out of this one. So now they've taken the kill lead, they've maintained the gold lead, they're up 2 dragons and a tower, and in terms of just the items, I mean, we almost do have that Phantom coming out for Draven, but at this point it feels kind of really delayed, especially when you look at Graves. I Love Poison up 8,800 gold, a clear 1,800 over even the highest competitor on the enemy team.
I want to see Graves actually, I'm pretty sure he's only building up to Lost Whisper, and that'd be very solid in standard. But I want to see Graves actually get an IE already, because if Graves just buys the IE straight out, he's going to be able to just one-shot a lot of people, literally, and it'll be pretty much easily GG for him. But if he goes Last Whisper, I wouldn't even fault him as well, because it's still going to be enough damage. It's just, I think more damage would be really secure for yourself, since because you do have a really good team to protect you, but also because you do have just an insurmountable lead right now over this other AD carry.
Now, you know, what you do say pretty much brings up the point of what I was trying to say earlier. We don't really have that tank. We don't have anyone really armoring up here on D-Farm G. So going for the Last Whisper, yeah, totally standard, but there's no armor. So you could easily just go straight into that IE and not really suffer any kind of losses.
We do. Oh, great flash up by General, and he's going to use that whirling axis to just go down very quickly. I think still going to pick up the kill. But great flash up to miss out on that shockwave. Gon going to be right there, going to use his static field, but he's going to go down pretty easily with another kill by Epic. Epic is doing some good work right now. He's going to try to push up over this top lane. Dragu is actually going to really go for this dive, and I feel like this is a decently good job because Graves is here and be able to clear out no problem onto Ginger and to be able to finish up that tower no problem.
Yeah, finally, there goes that Highlander. Goat going to be getting out of dodge. Can't really blame him. 5-on-1. He is a speedy beaver, however. You know, Mighty Gonzalez there. Oh, no, don't go that way. Beloved Poison has your name on his next bullet, and yeah, he's going to land a little bit of free auto attack damage there. Oh my goodness, what is Deformed Gay doing down here? Oh, what a great flash, however. Will keep him alive, but still, mission accomplished. Summoners down, ultimates down, and once again, Beast really taking control of these team fights.
And we do see the Blitzwing Grab gonna miss off the line yet again. I Love Poison gonna go pelter away with that buckshot. Smoke Screen gonna go get some zone, and he's gonna just chunk out this turret once again. And it's really, really looking good at this point. And unfortunately for Deformed G, I don't really know what's gonna be becoming of you to actually get something good to get back in. But you do have Death Cap on Vladimir. You do have Red Ages almost finished on Nunu. I mean, it's coming. Maybe in about 15 minutes it'll really come into play.
In 15 minutes, this game actually might be over right now. I mean, just look at this pressure. We've now taken down all but one tower, just barring their way between them and inhibitors. I mean, it's pretty much the best defense is a great offense, and a great offense is exactly what Beast has right here. They're just absolutely tearing through Deformed. And Deformed, you know, they started off pretty strong. I mean, they got the first blood. They stayed pretty steady with the kills, and that Draven was off to a really good start really early on. And it does actually look like Graves is thinking exactly as you are, because he's not going to be getting that Last Whisper. It will be Infinity Edge first.
Yeah, I mean, damage is just really going to be skyrocketing from him. And on top of that, Epic, even though having the disconnection problems, now picked up about 2 to 3 kills during that little time, like 5 minutes ago till now. He's going to be able to pick up another big item as well, probably another immediately, well, not going to be able to make the rod, but probably going to be building up a blasting one. But having also onto Death Cap has 438 AP, not including the Elixir of Brilliance, so it's going to be really tough to defeat this Orianna. And on top of that, you have a really great Graves on the back burner.
Yeah, Graves with that Phantom. We still don't have that Phantom ready for our Draven. I don't even know if he has any intentions of going into a Zeal, because he's really been sitting at the same items for a while now. He's at 1,700 gold, so he could easily go back and start something, but he is going to go back and start something as he is there in the base. But because everyone is here centered in the base, and we can see that there are no wards, absolutely nothing here for Dragoo to really use that Oracles for, they're going to be getting themselves a pretty free Baron here.
Yeah, it's looking like it, especially since everybody kind of showed over at bottom slash. This is just E and Blitzcrank, but still that's a lot to show at bottom. So great job by Beast taking advantage of that site and taking advantage of this free Baron. Now with Orianna, AP at 490, could use that Elixir Brilliance to get about 530 AP coming up for her. So she's gonna be pretty powerful of a damager right now.
All we need is one nice big command shockwave on 2-3 enemies, and Deformed is going to go down like a sack of bricks. Once again, taking out those objectives. They really have controlled every single blue buff this game over top of Deformed, and that is one of the really big problems of going in a 2-1-2 setup. You don't have that pressure. You don't have that objective control. You don't force the enemies to play carefully. It's just safe play. And look at this, Gomp getting in that one auto attack after his pull, and he just drops like a ton of bricks. A great double kill coming out, and Deformed Ginger actually disconnecting.
It's not only on one side, it's on the other side as well, and that's just unfortunate right now, because it's pretty much almost a goner over here, but they don't have a minion wave per se attending up this turret, so they can't get out. But yeah, this could be a Penta right now. I'm not saying it could be. It probably is going to be a Penta. If
Goat can motor though. Like we can't stop him, and he's going to go right into the fountain if he's smart. So I'm going to contest your prediction of a Penta.
Well, we'll see. Ginger is the one that is going to be the problem, because he is the one disconnected. So he has to. He's loading and he's getting back in, so we'll see how this goes. But I Love Poison, he says go. He wants to. he wants to go because he wants to get that kill.
Go, go, go. I'm on the adrenaline high, and you're robbing me of the awesome feeling after it. Speaking of delayed pentas, however, I heard that in the practice room yesterday for IPL 5, Afromu in his scrim got a quadra, and then his teammate actually denied him the penta. He just got up and left the room. Right there in the middle of the scrim. So, it really is a terrible feeling to have those pentas just really denied to you. So I can understand how Poison really, really wants to get this game going.
And we do see the resume about to hit up right now. I love person. Is he gonna get it? No, he's just gonna back away from it. And unfortunately, even Highland didn't have to be used up through there. They're just gonna push up for the win. And yeah, this is probably the secure thing to do because technically Beast would have probably just got the Graves Seekers dead. But even then, they have enough damage to actually just finish up this game.
Yeah, we got a Baron Infusion. Nobody's down. 2 defenders. One of them a Nunu who's about to drop. Actually, he gets stunned out of the Absolute Zero by the bear form, and just, alright, there's now or never goat, time to go clutch. I think he hit Meditate instead of Alpha Strike. And yeah, a good show here from Deformed, but once again, it's a classic example of why a 2-1-2 doesn't work. So just got to work there on Ginger. Ginger, there are junglers that you can do, before level 30 with even tier 1 or tier 2 runes. I guess level 16 is tier 2 runes. I mean, so it is definitely possible. Just work on the comp, guys. That's all you got to do. Either way, Beast able to take it fairly easily, 15-4. 18,000 gold by the end of it, Bird. Not a terrible match, just kind of drawn out because of all the pauses.